This week's blog post is the fourth in my timeline for 1900 to 2021. It covers the years 1930 to 39. This will be published in book form at the end of the summer of 2022. This post is a teaser. It's not the full text for the timeline for 1930 to 39. To receive a PDF of the text, join my free email list by sending a request to durantidiane@gmail.com. That will appear at the end of this video. Let me tell you some of the events of this decade. 1932 to 33 was the Great Famine in the Ukraine, USSR, with somewhere between 1.5 and 5 million deaths. It was followed in 1936-38 by Stalin's Great Purge, during which some 700,000 of his countrymen were killed on his orders, and all record of them deleted from history. 1933, Hitler is elected to national office, becoming German Chancellor and Führer. 1933 saw the publication of The Means to Prosperity by John Maynard Keynes, which advocates that during recessions or depressions the government should borrow to prop up businesses and production, and it should repay the loans during times of prosperity. This was the justification for massive deficit spending by the government. In 1933, also, the Tennessee Valley Authority is created by Congress to supply power via hydroelectric dams, which displaced about 125,000 people. The TVA was also meant to aid development in a region that had been hard hit by the Great Depression. 1935, legislation in the U.S. under FDR includes the National Labor Relations Act, which guarantees the right to organize unions and to strike. There is a minimum wage law, and the Social Security Act sets benefits for retirement, disability, unemployment, and dependent mothers and children. That is all in 1935. In 1936 to 1939, in the Spanish Civil War, Francisco Franco and the fascist Falange, backed by Germany and Italy, defeat a left-wing faction backed by USSR and communist sympathizers. An incident in the Spanish Civil War inspires Picasso's Guernica, 1937. In communications, most American homes have at least one radio in the 1930s. Best-selling books include Dashiell Hammett's The Maltese Falcon, 1930, and Tolkien's The Hobbit, 1937. Among the cutting-edge works, the ones that were not bestsellers to begin with, but were critically acclaimed and later became very famous, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, 1932, about a dystopian future where a social hierarchy is based on intelligence, and also Ayn Rand, We the Living, 1936, which is one of the earliest anti-communist novels. In architecture, we have the Empire State Building, 1931, which remained the world's tallest building until 1970. We also have the Golden Gate Bridge, 1937, which at the time was the longest and tallest in the world. Top-grossing films include Hitchcock's The Man Who Knew Too Much, 1934, and Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937, the first feature-length animated film. Music includes Cab Calloway's Minnie the Moocher, 1931, which includes the lyrics Heidi, Heidi, Heidi Ho. Irving Berlin's Cheek to Cheek, which was danced by Rodgers and Astaire in Top Hat, and Judy Garland's Over the Rainbow, 1939, from The Wizard of Oz. I would appreciate any feedback that you care to give me on the events mentioned here or the PDF of 1930 to 39. There are more details about what I'd love to hear about in the blog post. DianeDurantewriter.com has hundreds of posts on sculpture, painting, architecture, and my other obsessions. To join the free Sunday recommendations email list, which will get you the PDFs of each decade as they come out, you can visit the URL that's on the screen or email me. And you can say, "Well done, Diane," or support my work and receive rewards by means of the tip jar on DianeDurantewriter.com. As always, thank you for listening.